What up, guys? The offensive madman Kyle Robinson coming to you live today with another edition of Is It Worth the Hard Drive Space? In today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about Snowrunner for the PS4. If you don't know what Snowrunner is, it is essentially a driving simulation game. In today's review, we're going to do a little bit of gameplay footage. I'm going to break down some of the good and the bad about this game. So let's get started. One of the perks of Snowrunner is its physics engine, and that's the big thing I'm going to focus on as a positive. And what I mean is this game has some beautiful physics. It actually breaks down and simulates snow, ice, rain, water, all of that, almost lifelike, and it's scary. So the beautiful thing about this is just the way that the game plays. If you're into that driving simulation style of gameplay, it's actually very, very well done in terms of what you can and can't do. The off-road is another one of those perks to this game. If you look here, you'll see the different viewpoints, and this is the one I use the most. It is a from the cab sort of viewpoint, which is definitely an added bonus. Helps you mitigate some of those trees and forest and all that good stuff that is really going to be in your way as you tackle the Alaskan mountains and the Michigan wildlife. That's the other thing about this, and we'll get into that here in just a few minutes. The maps on this game are actually very, very, very large. So, you know, here we are about a minute and a half or so in, and you're thinking, oh, it's all positive, everything's good. So let's talk negatives about this game. The mission system, which is not bad by any stretch of the imagination, is very, very unforgiving. And what I mean is, if you're playing this game and you're putting in time, to give you an example, the tutorial missions that I had to do to unlock the game took almost 2.5 hours. Now, that may be because I'm slightly stupid in the way that I drive a truck around the ice and all that, and that may be the case. But what I noticed is while I was doing the tutorial missions, it was a very slow-paced game, which isn't bad because you're not going to be doing 70 miles an hour while driving across ice, and I understand that. But one of the things that you have to realize is if you're going into this the way I was with the trailer that I saw, you're gonna have to be able to be like, okay, there's a little bit of fast pace here. And this game doesn't have that. That doesn't mean it's bad. That just means it wasn't necessarily for me. The gameplay as a whole isn't bad. The mission system isn't bad. You just don't get rewarded very well for those missions. So trucks are almost, from what I can tell, realistic cost, which isn't bad. That's another one of those neat realistic physics that they added in. The only catch to this is that you're getting minimal money for the jobs you do, which means it's going to take you forever to upgrade your vehicles. So you're going to be driving around in this little beater ass S10 pickup for a very, very long time, unless I'm missing the point of some things, which it very well may be the case. But ultimately, I tried to get into this game really hard and couldn't quite get past just the sheer slow crawl of it, no pun intended. There are a lot of positives. You'll look here, there's a huge customization menu, a massive customization menu. The engines, everything can be overhauled, as you see here as I'm selecting through the missions. Suspensions, gearboxes, everything. So maybe just upgrading the truck may do me a little bit better. But ultimately, I think that you don't really have, like, while you have a ton of options, the customization, if that's what they're aiming for, is nice. There's also a huge selection of trucks that I cycle through here. And I mean, you have everything from Chevy to Caterpillar. I believe there was a couple of Fords in there. Like, the truck selection is absolutely massive, which is great. So it gives you something to strive for, to actually do the work that they want you to do. This here is a look at the map menu, which is kind of a quick look. Basically, this is where you get your contracts, where you get your missions and things like that. Everything is kind of stifled into that map menu. So ultimately, let's talk grade. Let's talk realistic, because I can't grade this on a story because I don't feel like there's a story to this game. So let's grade this game based on physics, appearance, and to me, overall playability. And ironically enough, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the game, I have to be honest. From a physics standpoint, I'm going to go 8 out of 10 because I do think that the physics in this game are very true to life. So we're going to go 8 out of 10 on the physics. From a graphics standpoint, bar none, this is a 9.5. This game looks absolutely fucking phenomenal. So we're going 9.5 on the graphics side of this game. And then last but not least, from the playability, it's an easy pick up and play game. It is a fairly straightforward game. There are a lot of things that are forgiving, like the recovery mode if you run out of gas, things like that. So from a playability standpoint, I think I'm going to go ahead and give this an 8, which means overall you got graphics at 9.5, physics at a 9, I think I said, and then playability at an 8. So realistically, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of this game, I think I'm going to give it an 8.5 because while it wasn't for me, if you're a car guy and you're a car simulation enthusiast or an ice road truckers simulation enthusiast, I do think that you're going to appreciate the way that this game plays. If there's some games that you'd like to see me do some reviews on in the future, drop them down in the comments below. Be sure to follow me on Facebook and join me on Discord. If you liked what we're doing here, give me a like and a subscribe on YouTube. And until next time, if words offend you, you can politely fuck off.